Hey everyone, Miss McCarthy here, the creator of McCarthyMathAcademy.com and the online platform taking on the best. In this video, I want to walk you through the following benchmark for 5th grade. It's MA.5.NSO.1.1. This is for my Florida teachers out there. I want you to know what is in the bronze, the silver, and the gold section, and most importantly, the gold section, because guess what? I have just dropped some new video lessons into the gold section for this benchmark. So you're definitely going to want to stick around to when we get to that gold section so you know what those video lessons look like. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it and let me show you. Okay, so here we are in the members area for taking on the best. By the way, if you want to learn more at any time, if you're like, oh, I don't have a membership yet, you can go ahead and check out the website that's above there, McCarthyMathAcademy.com/teacher. That's a great place to start, and I'll walk you through everything. So let's get to it. We are talking about a 5th grade benchmark today. What strand are we talking about today? Well, there are 6 strands total, but we are going to focus on the number sense and operations strand. And we've got several benchmarks under this strand, but we are going to really dive into MA.5.NSO.1.1, focusing on place value and determining how many times greater or less depending on our shifting of places. So when we click that benchmark, we are opened up right to the bronze level of resources. This is the tier that contains your video lessons and your printable student guides. This is a great plan to get you started, okay? Tons and tons and tons. So in this benchmark, we have, I think, 4. Yep, I'm seeing 4 video lessons here. The first video lesson is a foundational skills based on place value. And you can see with this student guide, we will go over the places and the value of digits, especially in the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths place. So let's go ahead and take a little sneak peek into that video. After the tenths place, we have the digit 0. And that 0, even though it doesn't have a value, it is in the place of the hundredths place, not hundreds place, but the hundredths. All right, so you can see we need this foundation to talk about the tenths, the hundredths, and the thousandths place. Then we're moving on into the meat of the benchmark, which is where we're talking about what happens when a digit is in a different place, what's going on there with that. So first we'll focus in on 10 times greater or less. You can see here with the printable that we're taking a number and writing it into a place value chart. And then students will have to write a number that's 10 times greater or 10 times less, aka 1/10 of that same number. And that's what we'll be practicing in this video lesson. Just pause so you can kind of see there is so much annotating going on here. So students are just following along in that video lesson and recording the same notes onto their student guide. That way they can use them. If you have the silver plan, they'll be able to use those notes to help them with the extra practice pages. We'll get to that silver plan in a second. So you can see here that we are talking about 1/10 of, and writing that as 1/10 of, like that, which is great. I know that students can kind of struggle with what's going on there. The next video talks about how many times greater or less. So if we zoom into this printable here, the student guide, again, we're recording a number into that place value chart, and then we're bouncing around a little bit. Let's write a number that's 100 times greater. How about 10 times less, or 1,000th of? And just kind of moving digits around, moving all these digits, really, the whole value, the whole number. Okay, and the next one are true or false statements. So for this video, students will write the number, 53 in the chart, and then just start determining whether these statements here are true or false and why. Let me just pop into a video so you can kind of see what's happening. The 3 needs to be in the hundreds place, which it is right there. And the tens, the 5 in the tens place would go 1, 2, and not be in the hundreds place, but the thousands place, the 1,000ths place. So this statement is true. All right, so you can see these video lessons are going to be super helpful for your students to record their notes. And on this bronze tier, there's also a chance if I have a math music video, I also drop that math music video there. if it pertains to the benchmark. In this case, it does, because we learn all of the place value names. In this case, especially the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Okay, so just pausing right here onto this video, you can see that we are dividing by 10 each time, becoming 10 times less, which is great for this particular unit. Talking about the tenths, the hundredths, and the thousandths, as well as everything that goes to the left of the decimal. So this is a fun song there. Okay, so really the big point of the bronze is the video lessons and the printable student guides. Now, if you are like, well, this is great that we have video lessons, but how do I make sure that my students understand what they learn in the video lessons? That's where we come in with the silver plan, okay? So the silver tier, you have more practice pages right here in this printable section. I'll open that in just a second. You also have answer keys for the printables that I'm about to show you, and a math misconception mystery episode. So those are the components of that silver plan. You get everything from the bronze, plus what I'm about to show you right now in the silver. So clicking on that printables section, now we have all of the printables for this section, including those video lessons. So if I'm a teacher, I can just say, woo, awesome, let's print that and let's get going. So we got the video lesson, another video lesson. And now you can see, well, let me go back up. So here's that video lesson for 10 times greater or less. How do we make sure they got it? Well, the next one is an extra practice page. So this is where students can practice on their own in the same kind of format that we just did in the video lesson, so they can see if they understand it. Then we've got another video lesson and the extra practice page that goes with that. Looks just very similar to that video lesson. Video lesson on the true or false statement that I showed you. And now let's make sure they got it with this extra practice page right here. Okay, and then the last two activities of the silver section always include a math mission and the math misconception mystery episode. But the math mission is like a math task. You could put this into a station or have students work on this collaboratively. And it might be multiple parts. We're kind of just taking that whole benchmark and putting it into a real world scenario if we can, or a multi-step process if we can too. Here you can see we've got a bracelet scenario, and how much is it going to cost with 10, 100, or 1,000 bracelets? You can see the place value being used there. All right. And then the math misconception mystery, you can see that video icon right there. That means that it does contain a video, which you should have seen on the silver page. I will show you as well. But these are super fun with students. They love to do this, especially before a test to review. You can show these whole group or in stations if you want, and you can share the videos that I've shown you, like on platforms like Google Classrooms or Canvas. So for math misconception mystery, first students will solve a problem on their own, and then they will watch as 4 characters that are really just me dressed up in silly costumes. These 4 characters are going to solve this same problem. 3 of those characters will make a mistake, and only one of them solves it correctly. So then students will have the opportunity to fill out this detective report, or you can just turn it into a class discussion. This is great, great, great for friendly classroom debating and error analysis. So let's take a look at that video, a little peek into it.
Is in the hundreds place. Of course, we need to place a 0 in the tens place and a 0 in the ones place. So the answer is 4,500.
So you can see with this character definitely made a mistake here. There's other characters, and they'll have to watch to determine if they made a mistake or not and why. Again, your answer keys are right here too. So great news with the silver plan is that you have those video lessons from the bronze tier, plus you have the extra practice to back it up. If you're looking for even more support for this benchmark, you'll want to go with the most popular plan, which is the gold plan, and it's also where I've dropped some new video lessons. Okay, scrolling down. Here is the gold tier. So we've got a mini assessment right there. It has about 5, the mini assessments are about 4 to 5 questions right there that you can use as extra practice if you'd like. That is how some teachers do it. A mini assessment has an answer key. You also have access to McCarthy Math 1.5.5, and I let you know right away that, hey, I created this for the Common Core standard when we used to have the maths in Florida, you have to know what you're looking for because not everything is aligned here. However, 155, that stands for 155 video lessons. It's a huge library of more video lessons. So let's pop in and see if there's anything here for 5th grade that we could use for this benchmark. Okay, so we were kind of in the understanding place values, right? Click that unit. Okay, so here we have identifying place value. Okay, so if I just kind of freeze frame here, you can see we're identifying the ones period, the thousands period, the millions period, that the commas close the period. We've got an invisible decimal here, and we are going to go to the right of it. You can see so in this example. Well, I guess example 3 does not have a decimal, but it's showing, if you look at problem 2 and problem 3, you'll notice similar digits here to teach students that that depending on where that digit lands determines its values. This would be a good lesson to use. And then we go into reading and writing numbers with decimals and standard form, which all of this is great for the next benchmark, which will be NSO 1.2, I believe, not this one. So you at least have one extra video here that you could pull from. Okay, that's in McCarthy Math 155. With the gold plan, Operation Math, that's what we're going to talk about in a second. Okay, but with the gold plan, you also have access to the Taking on the FAST 15-day countdown prep. It's included. If I click that right from this benchmark, it will open up the 15 days. If I scroll in, you can kind of see what those student guides are going to look like. Okay, with videos to go over everything. I would suggest using this, waiting to use this for that final stretch, like March or April, that final stretch to get your students acclimated with the testing environment, the testing style of questions, that final push towards that final PM3 for the FAST test. Okay, so 15 days there you get. And now let's go over the new videos. I took a look at the updates for this benchmark and I said, wait, I think it would be really helpful to drop some new content in here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more video lessons here. And let me pop into these printables so you can see what it's looking like, okay? So if we start here, this is where we're going to shift places using place value blocks in this video. So students will just record as I go. Now what we're going to be doing is modeling using what a place value block would look like to show how the values increase when you move to the left. The next video is same kind of thing, but we're dropping the blocks part of it and just sticking to using the place value chart here. You can see we're going 10, 100, 1,000 times greater, 1/10 of, 1/100th of, and 1,000th of, showing what's happening there. This one is a mystery number clues video. So we've got the clues for a mystery number, and we're going to break it down in that video lesson to determine what that mystery number is. This one is, I really noticed that when we had to have students fill in the blanks for statements, that they needed practice where we're removing values here. So for this lesson, we're actually saying how many times greater or less is it? So writing out the statements. Let me show you kind of like what that would look like in the video. Okay, so you can see here that we're actually going to be taking the statement and rewriting it and showing what's going on there with that. Okay, here the missing value is over here this time. So we're practicing how do we tackle statements like this and find the missing value if it's over here. The next video lesson will be removing the value first. Blank is 1/10 the value of 45 3/10. The next one, we've got some more true or false statements here, determining if it's true or false and why, and then shifting places, explaining what's happening to a digit. So these would kind of be like an editing task item, determining what would go in the blanks there. Okay, cool. 8 more video lessons, y'all. I'm super pumped about this. Now, just so you know, these Operation Math videos are right now, I'm only letting you know that I've dropped it for this benchmark. But without the Operation videos, oh my goodness, you have tons of resources. Like if we did not even have the Operation Math, You have so much there. You can see why the gold tier is the most popular tier. So if you want to learn more, check out mccarthymathacademy.com/teacher. That'll get you started. And you can also, from the website, contact me. Ask me any questions that you would like to ask me. That's what I'm here for. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And I look forward to seeing you inside the members area. Bye, y'all.